Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. And in the last episode, guys, we arrived at Helion Gate trying to find a prime shipmind and encountered Junie, who actually knew where one was located here at this derelict away from the gate. Now, progress is being made, but we have a lot of stress right now and not a lot of dice, so I'm not sure what happens when we run out of dice health. I assume that we die. But we're just going to keep on keeping on because we certainly can't leave and reset this. So let's just see what happens here. Now, we've got the ability to track cables. If you want to keep the network quiet, your only option is to track the physical connections the cradle has with the rest of the ship. And the shipmind is sealed in the cradle. Fortunately, Jin is here, so we can get 100% on that. We're still on the alert for Conway drones. Nothing's popped up yet. And as you can see, there's nothing really that we can do here. Our interface is... well, I mean, both of these are dangerous, and I'm kind of wondering if we need to wait until we have higher dice before we go ahead and do this, because... I mean, this could be very, very rough. You know what? We're going to go ahead and play it safe. That may be a bad idea. But I really don't want Sleeper to get any more stress. So let's just go ahead and end the cycle. We still have supplies. Fortunately, we're not going to risk Junie because she's got enough stress. Okay. That is doable. I'm thinking. We lost. Okay, we've only got 3 dice to our name now. Go, Jin, go. Track those cables. Oh, and we got a plus Conway alert. Thanks, Jin. I appreciate you. At least we can get this hacked. Ooh, 3. The node map of Cradle's connections grows. A little more and you should be able to identify which to isolate. And you know what? We'll go ahead and do the same here. With our mighty 5 dice. Okay, good. Good. Shipmind is still sealed in its cradle. We're gonna do this again. Get some rest. No energy loss. We're good. Just got to be cool, calm, and collected. With no additional loss. Okay. Oh, awesome. I think Junie's got what we need. Oh, how about that? The node connections grow. And you know what, Jin? I'm going to give you a chance to redeem yourself here. Go for it. Track those cables. You've located the key nodes that need to be disconnected to free the shipmind. Oh god, now we've got the starboard node. I forgot we got to go to like different sections. Ugh. Cut node. Disable node. Okay, and then we've got cut node and disabled node for both. I think we can do this. Let's try the port. A really good way of knowing what side is port and starboard, if you get confused with it, is if you're looking like toward the front of the ship. The port is to the left, and the way you can figure that out is that left has 4 letters and port has 4 letters, and then starboard's to the right. That's the easiest way I've been able to find. Alright, interface. Let's go ahead and get this one done. I think Jin can take a break. The node goes quiet. Cleanly done. And let's go ahead and put on our engineer hat. We'll go ahead and cut it. One clean cut through the connecting cable and the node will be disconnected, but mess it up and there could be trouble. Let's see what the trouble is. Woo. Okay, we got one Conway alert here. We're going to go ahead and risk it for the biscuit. The node has been disconnected from the shipmind's cradle. Alright, that's one. And let's go ahead and risk it here too. Alright, 2 for the Conway alert. We've got 1 thing of supplies left. I mean, we're cutting it a little bit close, so. Alright, stress is... We got increased stress here, but we've got quite a few good dice here. So let's... That should be able to take care of that easy. Cut is clean. And I'm going to go ahead and have Junie do that just because I don't want to risk Sleeper getting more stress in case there's like one more thing to do. The node has been disconnected. It's ready, Sleeper. Junie's voice comes quietly through your comms. You look over to her, floating beside the cradle, uplit by the pale screen of her deck. She gives you a reassuring nod. You turn to the prime shipmind, now floating above its cradle, the final nodes disconnected and the locks released. You glide over and gently grab it, the worn metal casing gleaming in the dim light. As you do, you feel a strange sensation of something moving around inside, like a creature in a box, the weight shifting this way and that under the pressure of your grip. It suddenly dawns on you that Jean-Min plans to put you inside this strange device, to hold your mind there while he investigates your body. The thought prompts a shiver. That drone's still sniffing around, Sleeper. Seraphine's voice crackles on the comms. So if you have what you need, let's go. You feel Junie's hand fall on your shoulder. Come on, Sleeper. Don't overthink it. She pats you gently. There'll be plenty of time for that later. You look up and see a faint red light glittering in the dark beyond the broken ceiling. Time to leave. Hey, we did it. Extract the prime shipmind without alerting Conway. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get out of here. 5 stress during travel, that's great. Let's go ahead and leave. Arriving back at the Helion gate, as lonely and cold as it is, feels like a relief. There was a tension in the rig as you came back out of the inner system, a watchfulness for errant signals and glinting red beacons that choked the conversation. But now, floating in the comforting shadow of this vast ruin, the sense of relief is palpable. That's 1 prime shipmind, condition unknown, retrieved. Seraphine runs the engine shutdown protocols as he speaks. I'd mark that as a success. Agreed. Thank you. Seraphine waves away your thanks. Yeah, we're a crew. We work together. Sleeper, can I speak with you? Junie asked from the back of the cockpit. Of course. She leads you out into the passage, tucking herself against the wall. She looks small, even in this compact space. Thank you for taking me with you. I hope I proved I am trustworthy. I never doubted you. That's nice to hear. She smiles at the floor. Thank you. In my time here in the Belt, I haven't found it easy to make friends. She falters, tripping over her words slightly. But you, Sleeper, well, I hope you consider me a friend at least. I would. She can't help but smile. I'm glad. Then I would like to ask you something. She pauses. Oh, would you consider taking me with you on the rig? She blurts out. And then before you can answer, I think I would be of help for your diagnostic. And in the meantime, I could take a look at the shipmind and make sure it's ready and... Yes, Junie, you can. She stops, speechless. She looks down at her hands and then back up at you. Okay. She smiles. Thank you, She looks down again. I will find the bunk. And she quickly glides off down the corridor before you can say anything further. Another stray collected. Seraphim puts a hand on your shoulder. Quite the refuge we're building here. He gives you a sly smile. We need her. I don't doubt it. Seraphim squeezes your shoulder. Let's get that shipmind to Flotsam. I'm sure Junie will prove herself there once again. He smiles and pushes off from your shoulder, gliding towards the engine room. You look toward the bunks, but Junie is already out of sight, likely unpacking already. The ship is getting a little crowded, but you're starting to realize you like it like that. At the very least, she'll prove invaluable when you get to Flotsam and have to deal with Jean-Mi. Perhaps she'll even have a read on the old man. You pause for a second, appreciating the warmth, the hum of the rig and its inhabitants. This ship, you think, is starting to feel like home. Hey, recruit Junie to your crew. And it is getting a little bit crowded here, for sure. Okay, we are starving, so let's go ahead and get ourselves built up here before we leave. Gate structure, trying to remember what we can do here. Oh, look at our prime shipmind. Search for supplies. Endure, which we do not have. Actually, you know what? First things first. We're going to head here to the rig and go to the workshop. Improvised dice repair. If you're desperate, Bliss can make repairs with inferior components, but this will cause many glitches within your frame. Bliss will do their best to repair your damage as long as they have the components, and there will be minor glitches. So input one rare component, which we actually have quite a bit of. Hey! Yeah, minor drive complete with an upgrade point. Stellar. Let's do that again. Okay. Cool. So we'll have those dice back tomorrow. Probably glitched, but still, we'll have to find a something safe to do. Now that gives us 4 points. How are we going to go ahead and distribute these, guys? We could go ahead and increase our interface, our endure. +1 to affected dice, -1 stressed. -1 stress on focus die POS outcome. Oh, positive outcome, excuse me. I don't know. I guess we could go ahead and do that, or make it when we push, it's +1. I actually find that to be a little bit better. And -1 stress effect on neutral and positive outcome. We could go ahead and finish some of these off. It looks like we can get that one too, which is great. It's not just an either-or thing. I don't know. Let's hold off on that. Let me know in the comments what you guys think we should do there. Because there is some potential for sure. Also, let's go ahead... Yeah, we're going to have the crew source supplies. And... I mean, we need supplies right now. You know, one thing I also could do is increase our endure, so... Well, hold on. Let's deal with one catastrophe at a time. Crap. Okay, we'll keep on going. We need supplies. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Oof. Alright, well, I guess we will be starving for this turn. And we can't push here at all. So, wait, if we just go ahead and go onto the map. Hold on a second. I do want to see. If we go ahead and look at the greater belt, and if we just go ahead and fly. We could fly to Far Spindle. That doesn't require anything, and we can get our supplies there, I'm thinking, and buy fuel. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's get out of here while the getting's good. Hey, there's our glitch. And, oh, deliver spores, so we can't get food there anymore. Gaia, we need all the kelp cakes. All the kelp cakes. Oh, much better. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get ourselves a nice drink there. And this is actually perfect because we'll find something safe to do. If there is anything safe. Go ahead and grab our fuel, grab our supplies, and we're back in good shape. So risky, danger. Scrapper ship, that's where we go. Okay, that's dangerous. Everything's dangerous here. I was hoping there'd be at least one thing of a chill nature that we could do. Actually need to check and see if there's anything like that on the ship. Make a meal. The bunks. Rest and recover. Yes. This is a great way to deal with the glitch dice. Alright, cool. And that puts us in a good way. And I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and spend 2 turns getting ourselves some money. Where's that engineering job at? Yes. Let's work some shifts. Look at us. We were going from bad shape, and now we're back on top. Hopefully. Maybe. Oh, we actually lost our stress, too, so... And go ahead and rock that out. And we'll just spend some turns here, I think, and then head out before the lane meter starts to fill up. We're good on supplies now. We're good on fuel. Let's do some odd jobs for some cryo. Just take a breath, you know? Oh, okay, we got a glitch. That's fine. We will sleep that off. I assume that's how we get rid of this. Okay, recovery failed. No worries. We actually got that 20% earlier, which is pretty cool. Stuff our face and get to work here. I'm glad that you're not perpetually under the gun. Like, you still have the lane meter, but you still have at least a little bit of time to kind of build up your resources, build up your capital, make sure you're well supplied. Because you never know when all of a sudden you're going to need a ton of money. I wonder what John Mean's going to do with that shipmind, too. Hey! Alright. There goes our glitch. Which I appreciate. We've got one more day of this. Of this cycle. Perfect. I really wish we could build these up, but I understand. You gotta try it. You have to have the dice break before you can actually fix it. So they're running on fumes right now, at least that one is. Okay, we got one more day with the lane issue. We'll just go ahead and... Scrappers love us. Number one independent contractor. Okay, now we can go ahead and bail. Get that going. I won't use the 1 or the 2. But that'll get us to over 350 cryo. Actually, a little bit less because we're going to go ahead and eat. And let's get out of here. I know our intuition is still... Oh yeah, that's the suspicion. Okay, that's just for making money. I have to be careful of. Let's get it. Let's go. This was a good idea to make a pit stop. Now back to Flotsam. Junie got a little bit of shore leave. Okay. Well, here we go. Give Prime Shipmind. Jean-Mi has promised to run diagnostics on your changing body, but needs a shipmind to house your emulation while he works. Jean-Mi warmly smiles at the shipmind as you place it on the counter. A beautiful find, sleeper. Come, let's get you inside. Jean-Mi swings open the creaking, corroded door beside his booth. Such a prize must have levied a heavy cost. You glance beside you to Junie, who insisted she came along, and on not letting the Prime Shipmind out of her sight. Your friend too, yes, please, come in. Jean-Mi beckons and then turns back and disappears inside. Junie squints at you. Are you sure you trust this one? I do. Then lead on, I guess. You both squeeze through the door and drift down into the workshop. You're aware of Junie's eyes wandering across the piles and piles of tech on either side, and you wonder if she recognizes anything among the junk. Sit, sleeper. Jean-Mi is already at the chair, arranging his array of articulated arms. And I'll take that shipmind, if you please. Hand it over. You hold the shipmind in front of you and give it a small push so it floats gently over to Jean-Mi. He grasps it with both hands and takes it to a neat little work table in the back you didn't see before, where thick cables float lazily, tethered to the wall. You slide into the chair, hooking your feet behind the bottom bar to hold yourself in place, and watch as Jean-Mi begins connecting up the Prime Shipmind. A tremble of nervousness runs along your arms. Suddenly, you feel Junie's hand clasp around your own. You look over into her face. Is this okay? I want you to know I'm here. Thanks. She nods silently. Jean-Mi? Junie calls across the room. You're going to need to talk us through what you're about to do. Of course. Jean-Min is slotting an arm-thick cable into the shipmind. A little patience, please. All of this is very technical. He turns to face you both. What is your friend's name, Sleeper? Junie. Junie answers for you. And I can tell that you are using a Solheim-built data cradle modified to handle a prime shipmind. She rattles off at speed. Which will work as long as you manage the data flow through a polymer-clad overflow cable looped into the asynchronous cortex cache. Yes? Jean-Min eyes her, a small smile crossing his lips. As I said, technical. What will happen to me? Jean-Min refocuses on you. It depends, he says while preparing the far end of that thick cable. What you are referring to as me. The problem we have is with your frame, your body. Atypical alterations, biosynthetic recoding, unusual growth. Jean-Mi shakes his head. From the diagrammatics I have, these are not typical of frames, even those that have been rebooted as you have. In order to investigate safely, I must transplant your emulation. In basic terms, your mind. But in reality, not so basic. He smiles in an attempt at reassurance. Your emulation is an emulation of a human, and a human mind cannot be separated from its sensorium. The mind-body paradigm has long been disproved, and cognition has a physical basis. So I must first distribute the emulation between your hair hardware and the prime shipmind. The hardware will co-run the emulation and like the two lobes of a brain. He pushes his hands together as in prayer, and then slowly separates them. The motion makes you feel sick. And then, for a short period, I will disconnect the two. In those moments, you will, in a sense, be in two places at once, though each lobe will be partial. Too long in this state, and two partial emulations would decay, but each disconnect will allow me a short period of full access to your entire frame and its base system language. I hope this is understandable. Jean-Min gives you a serious look. One of the most curiously human aspects of sleeper experience is that you, too, do not inherently understand or conceive of the systems that allow your existence. What are the risks? Jean-Mi pauses, considering his words. The risks are many, and severe. Emulation collapse is chief amongst them. This would be terminal. But counter to this, I do not believe the changes to your frame are in a positive direction. Jean-Mi clasps his hands. The greatest risk is to do nothing. We have little choice but to proceed. Now, before I connect to your frame, let us activate the shipmind. Jean-Mi gestures to Junie. Please, if you would come with me and oversee the process, I would be pleased. Junie shoots you a reassuring glance, then glides over to the shipmind, obscuring your view of it. You hear quiet conversation between the two of them, their silhouettes lit by the flickering screen light of scrolling lines of code. You take a calming breath, but are instantly aware of how superfluous that action is when your frame requires no oxygen at all to function. There's a certain sensation that accompanies such thoughts, a jarring disconnection, like when descending a staircase your foot expects a step and finds void instead. You try to calm the growing anxiety as Junie and Jean-Mi assess the mind. The shipmind is pristine. Junie turns back and drifts towards you. Our care in its extraction seems to have paid off. Junie smiles. This is good news. Junie is indeed right. You have done well. Jean-Mi approaches. I am, however, seeing only minor traces of the protocol that the shipmind was designed to house, the one that ran the ship it was installed in. I would expect to see it in full. He angles his head and lifts his shoulders in a slow shrug. But protocols are not easy to track. In the end, it only saves us the step of extracting it from the mind. Instead, I simply wiped the traces. Jean-Mi stops beside you. A protocol, Jean-Mi adds, is not like an emulation, like your emulation. It has no integral physical element. It is data only, and therefore could only be anywhere in that ship. In the end, its absence does not concern me. So we don't need the upholstery, we just need the car, I guess. I don't know. Well, let's get on with it then. John Mee nods and lifts the far end of the thick cable you saw earlier. You know this is the end that will connect to the port in the back of your head. Junie settles beside you again. She gives you a silent look. It's time. And it is time, guys, but we will go ahead and see what happens in the next episode. I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.